the monster of Upernavik. The greenish shine of the spacecraft reflected the incredible whiteness of the glacier. The crash had made a crater about 40 feet wide in the white ice of Upernavik, Greenland. The town had just been founded by a few Norwegian settlers and some Native Americans who lived in this wild and treacherous region. Everyone knew about the legends of monsters and sea serpents that had tormented the natives for years, but little did they know how close they were to meeting a real monster from the glaciers. The alien craft had malfunctioned as it entered Earth's atmosphere and plummeted into the hard ice cap of the Greenland tundra. Only one alien space traveler survived the impact and found himself badly injured. As he stumbled away from the craft, the ice beneath the crater gave way, and the shining alien craft collapsed into the depths of the ice. The alien's only choice now was to contact the few inhabitants of the tiny town of Upernavik. Meanwhile, at the local store, fishermen were acquiring supplies for the next venture into the unforgiving North Sea. A loud bang echoed through the cabin, and everyone jumped in fear. Perhaps it was a bear. Hungry polar bears had frequently been coming to town, lured in by the smell of fried whale meat. Or was it something worse, a monster from the ice mountains? Some of the men, hardcore fishermen, tough as nails, decided to face whatever it was and stepped outside, armed with knives, harpoons, and the determination of survivalist frontiersmen. The windy, cold conditions limited visibility to just a few meters. The alien saw the group of men and tried to communicate. He knew it was a long shot, but he had no other choice. His ribcage was torn open, and the only reason he hadn't bled to death was that the cold had frozen his arteries momentarily. When the men finally saw the creature that was growling at them, terror set in. Their response was a violent attack with their harpoons. As the creature fell to his knees, the rest of the men furiously stabbed their knives into it. The alien, now mortally wounded, opened fire with his laser weapon, instantly cutting two of the fishermen in half. The rest fled, running in all directions into the night. The alien also retreated far away, but he had no choice but to return and try to convince the frightened fishermen to help him, or he would surely die before a rescue party could arrive. He tried several more times to approach the inhabitants of Upernavik, but the fishermen were now ready to kill the monster. They had armed themselves with guns and more harpoons, and the next time they would get rid of the creature for good. The alien tried one last time, knowing he was about to die if he couldn't convince the fishermen that he had only acted in self-defense. But it was too late. The fishermen had surrounded him, and this time they opened fire, hitting the creature in the head. An eerie silence followed. They had killed the monster of Upernavik. But as soon as they were ready to cheer their victory, a blinding light engulfed the entire scene. As if by magic, the creature was sucked into the sky, never to be seen again. And at that moment, the legend of the monster of Upernavik was born. For years, the inhabitants of Upernavik told the story from one generation to another. Up to this day, 400 years later, the night they killed the monster of Upernavik is still a favorite nighttime story for the descendants of those rugged men that did away with the sweetest monster that has ever been in that Arctic place.